Hello, it's Coy, and welcome to the Eclectic Cottage. I'm so very glad you're here today. It's Sunday morning. I'm in the art room and was looking for a little inspiration for our ginormous, extra super large Junkety Junk journal. And I was looking on YouTube and happened to see Barbara from 49 Dragonflies. She was working on a project this morning, and I want to talk a little bit about finding inspiration. You find it where you find it, okay? Again, one of my favorite lines, one of my favorite quotes is, inspiration does exist, but it must find you working, okay? And it really does. You're going to find it in the strangest places, and sometimes in the easiest of places. YouTube channel with someone else that's doing similar kind of work as you is kind of a no-brainer. But I'm going to take Barbara's idea and kind of do my own thing with it. This is Barbara's freebie. I did print it, and I would really love to use these butterflies, but she did have a little struggle with the body being so slender. Once, because what she was doing is having, connecting the butterfly to an envelope flap in her journal and having it sort of as a little free-flying butterfly, just laying on the page. And because the body is so slender, that posed a bit of a problem that she really had to work around. And I am going to skip that part. Because of that, I'm going to try and use a butterfly with a thicker torso. Now, it's not as delicate and sweet as this, what is this, a swallowtail? It's not as delicate and sweet. It's more clunky and plain, but I'm okay with that. So I'm going to try a similar project as hers using, this is just a coloring book, images, the coloring page. So Barbara used her Sizzix machine and embossed her butterflies. Now, I have a Sizzix machine. I got it for a song Yonkers ago. Does anybody know Yonkers besides Louise? I heard you, Louise, say Yonkers ago on her channel, and I was surprised to hear it, only because it's not a term that, I mean, I knew exactly what she meant, but it's a term that I wasn't used to. So I laughed a little bit and said to myself, the next time I get the opportunity to say ages ago, I'm going to say Yonkers ago. So Yonkers ago, oh, by the way, Louise is from, I think she's from Scotland. She's from the UK. I think she's from Scotland and now lives in the England part. So I don't know if it's a Scottish term or if it's an English term or if it's an international term, and I'm just the only one that doesn't know it. If you hear people saying Yonks. If you hear people saying Yonks ago, let me know. If it's something you say, tell me where you're from. It reminds me of Yonkers, New York. Yonkers is a town in New York, but it's Yonks ago. Anyway, I'm going to, because I have a Sizzix machine and I got it for a song at a garage sale yonks ago. And I have not invested in the dies or the embossing folders yet. So it's sitting over there on a shelf ready to go. But you can't emboss if you don't have the folders. Barbara embossed her butterflies, and they looked marvelous. I hope you can take a look at her video. I will do my best to link it. in the description. So I thought of a workaround to that. And I'll tell you what it is. Just a minute. Let me finish cutting these guys out. Yeah, they're not quite the dainty little flutterbys that she was doing. But I think it'll be cute. The inspiration, the idea is cute. And by all means, when you take a look at, you know, at what someone else is doing, and you find inspiration there, take it and make it your own. Take your own thoughts and ideas. Check your stash, see what you have. One of the most important things I hope to instill in everybody is that you don't need to go out and buy a bunch of stuff. You probably already have most everything you need for a project already at home. And if you do run across something that you want or you need, you know, put it on your list. Do some thinking about it. Put it on your wish list. And pretty soon, your stash, your tools, there's certain tools that you just need. Like the Sizzix machine was on my wish list, and I happened to run into it for nearly nothing. But I haven't been prepared yet to invest in the dies or the embossing folders. I want to. Okay, but, you know, glue and other things usually take priority. So, when the time is right, I'll get it. In the meantime, days like today, I'll look for an alternative. Okay, and let me tell you what I'm going to use. What I do have in my stash is some Braille paper. Can you see it? So it's embossed with these beautiful dots. And a couple of sheets of the Braille paper. Like this has very few words, like down here at the bottom of the page. It has very few, I'm going to call them words, very few dots down here, but mostly it's a blank page on the top. So what I'm going to do is take the butterflies, and I can even just glue them on. I'm going to cut the butterflies out. One's going on the front, one's going on the back. They should be pretty symmetrical. Okay. And it'll be the same, you know, the same-ish on both sides. So I'm going to use glue stick. I'm just going to glue them down. And this will give a little added heft to the project. Not many of the pages I have are blank on one side. Let's see if I can fit them both. I want them to have dots. I guess it wouldn't hurt to put them where the dots are. Why not? Okay. I thought having a blank side with no dots was going to be a big thing, but I don't think it's a big thing either way. I put this right over the few dots at the bottom of the page. Okay, so my Braille butterflies. Right, and I am going to Now cut them out again. I'll save as much of the scraps of this paper as I can. All right, we'll deal with that piece another day. Okay, so how's everybody doing today? It's Sunday. I'm not sure exactly what day this is going to post on. It might not post until tomorrow. It's a quiet weekend here. Next weekend, we've got some plans for next weekend. The grandkids, Mandy and the grandkids are coming from Lafayette. And we're going to have a little family gathering at Angie's new house. I'm looking forward to that. But this weekend, on the quiet side. All right. Yeah, this will give a lot more stability to that center section than the other butterfly. It was just too skinny right in the body area. This one's a little heftier. A little heftier. Okay, there's one. Let's see. Oh, I like the embossing on the other side. I don't know if you can see it or not. This Braille paper really is beautiful paper. It's nice and thick. And I'm really happy to have the opportunity to give it new life. All right, now we're going to cross our fingers and hope that these are pretty similar in size and such. And they are. We may have to do a little trimming once we get them put together, you know, just to make them perfectly rounded, or maybe we can use a sanding block or something. Okay, now that should be a pretty sturdy little butterfly. I wouldn't mind his head having a little bit more definition, right? right in here a little bit. Okay. All right, I think that will do it. I do want to put a little color on here. Do I? Sure, why not? Watercolors. Okay, I was trying to figure out what I'm going to use to color them with. I have watercolor markers here next to my desk. And then I thought maybe I would use gouache. I really like the color of Barbara's, you know, the red, yellow, and orange. I like those colors. So maybe stick kind of within those color schemes. So I think that instead of using the gouache or the watercolor markers, I think that I'm going to use the Distress ink to add a little color here. Yellow. A little yellow. And some orange. Okay, I like it. It's kind of making our dots pop so we can see them better. Should I put pink? Why not? Okay. Okay, I'm kind of happy with that. The body will make black or a dark color. All right. Now, Barbara, in order to salvage her project, put wire. She used wire to salvage things. And she used it to keep it sturdy, but in the process of that, she ran across something that was really cool. That, well, let me finish coloring it first, and then I'll tell you. Let's use black or something very dark. I guess I can make it black and then go in and add some white if I want to add white back. I hope I'm not messing this up. When you're not quite sure how something's going to turn out, it's hard to keep filming. I want to turn the camera off, make my mess, if I'm going to, and forget about it. But Barbara, yeah, I kind of wish I didn't do this. Okay. But we did, didn't we? I say we. Yeah. I could have lived without the black on the wings. We're already in now. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn it off and let's see how this turns out. Okay, here's my butterflies. I cannot explain to you what the feeling that came over me when I started drawing these black lines and the camera was rolling. I couldn't think. So I apologize, but I had to turn it on pause, even though, you know, this is the coloring book image and I had it sitting over here and I was kind of going by it. I had no idea if it was going to turn out usable or not. And I felt like throwing it away. But I persevered and I kept moving and I have something that I can use. Okay, if they're perfect or not, who's to say? But they're my butterflies and they're done. Now, back to Barbara's butterfly. She ended up, because her butterfly had such a thin body, the wings were not sturdy like this. So she used wire, like some jewelry wire, to outline the wings and all of that to give it a little bit more sturdiness. You can, you know, see that if you look on her channel. And it was on the outside of the wings. So instead of drawing things on, she just kind of, you know, put the wings there. And she had the added benefit because of the happy accident she created, was being able to use the wire for the butterfly's antenna. Okay, I also cut the antenna off. I have no antenna on my butterfly, and I do happen to have some crafting wire, so I am going to completely be inspired by Barbara's butterfly and use some wire for the antenna. And lucky for me, I haven't glued mine together yet, so I can put my wire on the inside. The inside, and she had to put hers on the outside. So, use these. I think these might cut better. Let me cut my wire. And this is just really thin little jewelry making wire. And let's do a little twisty thing up here. Can't see it. I can't see it. Let's see. Oh, I keep unraveling it when I take the pliers out. I could put a little bead there, but I don't really want to do that. I just want to, just a little wire, curly Q. Maybe I should use a thicker wire. I can use a thicker wire. All right, is this going to be good enough? I think so. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. Yeah, it could really use some thicker wire, but this is what I'm going to use. It is perfectly imperfect, and that's fine. All right. I think I am going to use a little tape to tape it down and put some glue. What glue would I use? This glue happens to dry really quick. Fabri-Tac. I don't know that it mentions glues wire to paper. All right, well, if you happen to try this at home, I wish you would, let me know. We still have to get it into the journal. Okay, I used both glue and tape to tape in the antenna. All right, and let's go ahead and glue our butterfly together. Oh, Fabri-Tac is not my glue of choice. I know that some people only use Fabri-Tac, and I need to know, you know, are you using the Sugar Bell bottles? And if you do, how is this your favorite glue? No, if you do, how do you fill up your bottles every day? Because I feel like the only time this works well is when the bottle is completely full. Otherwise, you have to wait like 5 minutes for the glue to get to the bottom of the page. This just isn't, that's not working for me. And it's so thick and, let's see. I'll leave that on that side. And let me just really, this is what I wanted to do. It's what I should have done. It works so much easier. But I do like to have Fabri-Tac on the desk to use when I'm gluing fabric. I know it's going to stay. I know it's going to stick. And not that art glitter glue doesn't. It does. So does Aleene's. It's just, I don't know. I wonder, like my friend T, I hear her say all the time that that's the only glue I know she uses like a matte medium also, but she doesn't use art glitter glue or Aleene's or any of the other stuff. She uses Fabri-Tac. Fabri-Tac. Okay. So if you have any Fabri-Tac tips, if I leave it on its side, like as I'm using it, after I've already waited 10 minutes for it to drip down to the bottom, and I'm using it, I just lay it down on the desk on its side so that when I pick it up in 2 minutes, I'm not going to have to wait all over again. And then it globs, it just drips. It drips big globs out onto my desk. Which, it's not going to hurt the desk, but it's globby and it's wasteful, and I don't know. It's not the glue of choice. All right. Now let's, I think instead of cutting off the weird spots, now that I have the black on there, I can just black up the parts that aren't meeting. And this is a Faber-Castell Big Pit Pen, India ink. Faber-Castell pens are India ink. I'm still going to use some distress ink, some vintage photo around the edges to clean up the white edges. Put these spaces like this. Let me fill them in. Okay, I wouldn't say he's the most gorgeous butterfly in the world, but he'll do. All right, now on Barbara's, she went through a great detail on making the top page match the top page and the bottom part match the bottom page. And I think that in the end, she felt like that wasn't that much of a plus. So I'm going to put it here, put the butterfly here. And I'm going to use a contrasting color instead of the same color. That's just personal choice. You do you, whatever you think's best. But I'm going to use this blue background. Oh, I do apologize for shaking the camera. You know, it's inches above my head. It's right there. And if I touch the post at all or shake the table, it does shake, you guys. And I do my best not to do that, because I've seen that happen in other people's videos, and I don't like it. Why would we like it? All right, and I am going to want this the same color on both sides. I'm just going to go ahead and glue it together to give it a little strength. Rachel my corners. Distress my edges on both this and the butterfly. I love this background with the rust and all. Madam Butterfly. I guess you're Madam. Okay, now this is going to be sewn into the signature when it's time. And it's just going to be a short page. That's going to go right here. She used an envelope and an envelope flap. I'm using this instead. I guess I could have given that a little more space on the other side of the page. I think I will. Okay, the butterfly will go here. I want to give it a little even more space over there. Come here, Art. Let's see if we can smooth things out here. You're not Art, you're Chuck. Okay. I'm going to glue us on here. Okay, pretty much all of the wing. Okay, and then I'm going to cut this out like Barbara did. Okay, and there you have it. Butterfly. Let's see what he looks like in our journal. How's that? That'll be sewn in right here in the middle. Love it. Okay, folks, thanks for joining me today, doing this little experiment with me. If you want to go to 49 Dragonflies and see someone do it in a better way, it's Barbara at 49 Dragonflies, and I will do my best to link in the description below. Very good. Thank you very much for coming. I'll see you real soon. Hi, I'm back with a real quick note. 2 real quick notes. First of all, when I was uploading this video, and I looked back on it, I noticed a couple of things. First of all, when I was filming, parts of the video were off screen, and you could hardly see maybe just a little corner of what I was doing. Okay, that really is bothering me, and I apologize for that. I will try and do a much better job. My camera did get rearranged because it kind of fell a little bit earlier in the day. So I'm going to try and do a little bit better than that. I will try to be a little more conscious. And the other thing is, when I looked at the video, I realized that I messed up here. This was supposed to be tucked in to the inside of the butterfly. Like, I was supposed to be able to see his entire body on both the front and the back. So I came back to the art room to see if I could maybe pull it apart, but no, the glue stick, it was just glue stick, but it is not turning loose. So I could go through the process of repainting and redrawing and all of that, and, you know, and add an add-on layer here, but I don't think I'm going to go through all of that. My Braille Butterfly is going to go down forever in time as a perfectly imperfect piece of art, along with this entire video. You know, I've considered scrapping the whole thing and just skipping this video, but I think it's important for us to know that we all have a tinge of, maybe not perfectionist, but we all have a tinge of wanting to do our very, very best, and if it's not good enough, we feel like ditching it sometimes. But just, you know, the key is just to keep going. I'm going to post this anyway because I think it's an important message about everything not always turning out perfect. It's a junk journal, okay? It's a place to play. And if you make mistakes, you make mistakes. There are no mistakes, really. Maybe if I wouldn't have told you that you were supposed to see the whole butterfly, you never would have known. But it's always going to bother me. I think I'll probably write perfect, you know, the Braille Butterfly will always be perfectly imperfect. I think I'll probably write something like that in there. Okay, goodbye for real this time. Good night.